Opposition parties in Cameroon are worse than the ruling party. In fact, to some extent, the ruling party is more organized than the opposition parties. Some opposition parties in Cameroon, I repeat, some opposition parties. Now, the Social Democratic Front, according to the news circulating, says they are accusing some CPDM elite, some government elite, of working in close collaboration with armed fighters, allegedly working in close collaboration with armed fighters to make sure that the CPDM gain majority of votes in the restive northwest and southwest region. Now, recently, the Social Democratic Front had a meeting where they discussed to look at, take stock, what went wrong, what went right during the October 12 presidential election. Now, they came out to say that, according to the news, that they accused some elites of CPDM of working with the armed fighters who have been causing havoc in some areas to make sure that the opposition is completely outnumbered and that CPDM gained the full northwest and southwest region. Now, I want to ask this question. Now, this same party, the Social Democratic Front Party, Chairman Joshua Osei, Honorable, it was this same your party that told Cameroonians that they have recruited more than 30,000 election observers to observe election across the 33,000 polling units. It was this same your party that told Cameroonians that by 8 p.m., SDF will have the collated information to know the state of the election, who must have won the election, because they have 30,000 plus polling agents on the field working who have been trained, employed to gather this data. Now, elections have come and passed. This your same party has not been able to live by what? So most Cameroonians feel they have been duped or they were fooled during the 2020 25 presidential election because, first, Your Excellency, Honorable, your party has not been able to give Cameroonians, show Cameroonians the final tally sheet of your own observers. What are your figures? What are your figures? What is the figures you had? Can we see, even if they are unofficial, your own figures, because every party should have a perspective about what are your figures? You failed not also, your party also failed to tell us whether or not what was published at the Constitutional Council is the figures you had. Because in any normal circumstances, there is vote auditing. You ought to audit the vote. What are your figures? You are not all Cameroonians. Now your party is accusing elite from CPDM of wanting or colluding with armed fighters. Let me also remind you that those armed fighters are not people who can work with anybody as far as the government is concerned, and because we have seen it. We have seen where a CPDM member of parliament was kidnapped. If you are saying these people are working with armed fighters, why would this same some members of your party accusing the CPDM of trying to collaborate with these people, though it's still an allegation? Why is it that CPDM MP member of parliament was kidnapped in Dongamantu on his way during the presidential election and was killed, even despite the fact we are told that ransom was paid? Why is it that we were killed if these people are collaborating? So you see, the issue is not these people are not collaborating, or whether your party has credible evidence or not. These people are not collaborating because we have seen the same thing. We have seen the same thing from your members of your party being attacked by these same boys. These same boys have attacked members of your party. These same boys are attacking journalists. Some journalists. These same boys are attacking whoever they want to attack. So to come and say your party accusing these people, elite from CPDM, it's not true. For example, your party made a promise in 2025 presidential election. They did not keep that promise. Do you think that the people will not remind you when it comes to 2020, 2026 municipal legislative election? Do you think that the people are blind? Do you think that the people don't know that SDF, by normal declaration, the party was supposed to live by expectation, do a vote auditing? Say, this is what we had, this is what we figured out, this was what was probably officially, but this was what we had, despite the fact that we have chosen that there should be peace, but this was the outcome. At least it makes everybody understand that your party is accountable to Cameroonians, or to its supporters, or to its militants. But that accountability, I'm sorry, Your Excellency, is found, Your Honorable, is found wanting. It's found wanting. Now, the party needs to work on restructuring. And that structure is to build trust on its people. You cannot build trust when you cannot be accountable, when you are not giving accountability to the people. The 2025 presidential election was a litmus test for SDF trust, and SDF failed the litmus test. Because SDF, nobody asked SDF to say that, to talk about recruitment of polling unit agents. They are the ones who came out in the granted press conference that they have trained 30,000 plus, which was laudable. But till date, SDF entered Sosongo with their own Proseveba. Can we know the official figures that SDF had till now? And that is where building trust begins. Because people would have are expecting that your party will come out and say, these are our results we have. This is what we have. This is what was proclaimed. Despite the fact that we have moved on with the election, but this is what we had. And this is why we think that we should stay calm, we should not do this, we should not do that, and we should wait for the next election. This is it. Accountability, the people say, yes, SDF is accountable, yes, this party is accountable. You see, I keep saying this, that the people on the ground know who a genuine party, know what party is genuine. They know. Sometimes some of you politicians are living out of their reality, and you will not get people to tell you the honest truth. The honest truth is that the people want change, but for this change to come, the people want to see accountable leaders. After the election, the people were expecting a press conference from SDF to explain that this is the challenge we had, these are the figures we had this figure, we had this figure, we had this figure. In Littoral, we had this was our Proseveba, or your polling agent. Did they not take Proseveba? Or even though some of them may not have had access to the polling unit, can we have the result of those who had access to the polling unit to say, okay, can you actually publish that these were the access, based on the polling unit that we had access to, these are their results, these are their returning sheets, this is what we have signed. Can we have it? That is where you build trust. In fact, if this was to be in the developed world, most of our leaders across some of our political parties that perform very wrongly would have resigned. But unfortunately, they don't see themselves resigning. You see this twin election that is coming, SDF will pick the shock. If they don't restructure, it's a very good party. A party that has very good manifesto. But the people want to see you building the trust. Building the trust.